whether in earnest or in jest. The time has come to give up your bum. You feel it deep down. It's time to put on something brown. Get out there, I know it's just not fair when you're the only one who can. I hope that it's part of your plan. Time to step up, be that guy, yup. For our community, we'll have good times, best times. Embrace the one that lost to gain stability. Get caught up in the tide, enjoy the wind and the stars. So we don't have to open the can, because it's all just now. No need to be about dance, for it's time to play. Stand with me and let's do this. Oh my, the time has come. Whatever the reason, wherever the place, let's do this. We're all up in this, making it happen with bliss. No need to grumble and groan. Just let it all go and hang up the phone. It's almost on the mind. Time to serious nobody's coward. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra command plots and schemes. He's ruling the world in his dreams. Sartan is never what he seems. And Baroness spots that black leather outfit. Shoots her quick and slip out the back of the head. Yo, Cobra, Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh yeah, Yo, Cobra, don't be characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Warning. From the hilt cautions that mature content may ensue during this video that includes foul language, possible adult situations, violent implications, and perhaps a little something something. Wink wink. Nudge nudge. A little racy even. Keep in mind that it's all in good fun. Now that we've gotten all prim and proper, please enjoy the show.
Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. And tonight on Joe Takes Classics number 10, we're going to be looking at 4 different characters. We're going to be looking at Kamakura, G.I. Joe, the Snake Eyes' apprentice. Then we're going to be looking at Cobra Troopers. Then we're going to be looking at Torpedo, the Joe's first and best Navy SEAL, in my opinion anyway. I mean, I like Wetsuit, but Torpedo rocks. And then we're going to round this out with a Dreadnought. We're going to take a look at Ripper tonight. We got some folks in the chat. That's hilarious. Wink, wink. Tiger heard a summons. Yes, because Jess summoned her. We got a couple of folks in the chat. We got Jess Laws. Hello, Jess. It's good to see you. We got Cool Gamer. It's always good to see you too, buddy. And now we also have the Tiger has popped in here saying she heard a summons. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to address this question right here, Jess. Why are there images of Channing Tatum and Sean Connery? Well, Channing Tatum played Duke in G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. So that image is of him as Duke that I rendered. And then I've did a series of shorts on From the Hilt, where they're actually on G.I. Joe Gamer channel as well, where I took actors and said they're taking on the role of this character, and I cast Sean Connery as Destro. Just my little personal opinion about who should be who, you know. So anyway, that's why you saw Sean Connery and Channing Tatum and Pedro Pascal. some pretty cool characters. I got some pretty cool renders of some of those characters too. But anyway, so tonight we're jumping into Joe Takes Classics, and then afterwards I'll come back on after the 4 Joe Takes, which take a couple hours here, and then I'll play their file cards for you, because that wasn't around when these Joe Takes were made. So everybody, sit back and I'll be in the chat with you, and we'll check out some Joe Takes, starting with Kamakura right here. All right, see you guys later. Yeah. Oh, beat over yourself. You ain't snake ass. Greetings, I'm Logan with G.I. Joe Gamer, and tonight I'm taking a look at Kamakura from the Hilt, X38. And we're going to start with the figures that came out in the early 2000s, with the third one that came out in 2005. I have two of the three that came out in that time period. Now, this is when they were experimenting with weird body, different body part without the O-ring. And it had this action feature where he did a karate chop. I did like that they came with these gauntlets that were their communication devices. What I didn't like is they could probably easily be stolen. Maybe not accessed and used, but they could take it from a jail, no problem. Well, not necessarily no problem, but they came with this little machine pistol. This was an interesting figure, but it wasn't the best Kamakura figure. The first one was better. I don't particularly have that one. I have the second one, which is the one I'm going to take a better look at right now. And he came with a little MAC 10 submachine gun and a pair of three-piece rod nunchakus. And I really like this particular figure, and this is the one they based the classified figure off of, which is what we'll be mainly taking a look at here in a bit. I did like the guards the shin guards and the knee pads. Thought that was pretty cool. And the knee, what I didn't like was this little skirt that's on him. It really hinders the movement. But you can get him into some pretty decent poses. And this one did not have the wrist articulation like a lot of the ones that this time period did, which was cool. But it did have it was an O-ring figure again. So that was kind of cool. I don't know why the very next year they didn't make this guy an O-ring figure, but it was probably because of the gimmick with the karate chopping hand, spring action arm. But I thought this was a much superior figure. Take a better look at it. Very cool, Kamakura. Now we'll get into his character in a bit, but first thing is first, we're going to look at the classified box art. He was 61 in the series. Very first windowless packaging that I got was this one, and so when I tried to open it, I accidentally ripped the box. But I keep all the boxes and all the packing material as well inside. I do like the fact that on the back they show you the figure and all the accessories. There is a lot of things about this windowless packaging that I liked. I'm glad they're going back to window packaging. But what I'm upset about that they don't continue to have the butt. I have the new butt, and he doesn't come with a foot locker. I really thought this whole foot locker idea was a great idea, so you can store all their accessories in it. Now, you have the paper that all the accessories came in. We get all his accessories out of the box here. Now he has quite a few accessories, as the box shows here. First of all, he comes with these two swords that are actually supposed to be staffed together, and the staff as one piece.
Now, I don't know why they just didn't make this so that this could come apart. It would have been a lot easier. It saved them less on plastic. I'm going to set these back in the Foot Locker as we work on it. It did come with a knife, which I thought was pretty cool. Every Joe needs a combat knife, in my opinion. Nice little backup. Now, he does come with this hood and extra head, which is his ninja with his ninja mask on. We'll be taking a look at that. But for the first time, like on the box art, Kamakura, his face is exposed, which is kind of cool. And he's got the Arashikage tattoo because he was trained by Snake Eyes. And he's got the knee pads and the shin guards, just like this figure here. So we'll take a look at them together. Now, I thought that this classified figure was done a lot better than this one, but you know, it's what they put into it. And by the time they got to 61 of this series, the classified figures were looking a lot better. Hello, Black Widow. Welcome. How you doing? I'm glad you took the time to at least say hello to me tonight as I'm talking about G.I. Joes. We had Skilled Loser in the chat. I don't think he's still around. And I wanted to thank Joy, JC, for giving me a like and a shout out earlier. Now, this one, like the vintage, well, it's not really vintage, but I guess consider it vintage. It's over 20 years old, so it's vintage now, but it's not from the original 13 years of G.I. Joe from 1902 to 2004. There you got the tassels here. I thought that was a nice touch. You have the little Pagon backpack with the two sheaths for both of his katanas, which are identical, as you can see there. Yeah, take a better look at that katana. He does come with a Mac 10 Uzi. Well, it's more of an Uzi. This is actually the same weapon that came with Snake Eyes and Timber, the Alpha Commandos. So it's pretty good. I did like the fact that instead of having just like cloth or anything on his wrist, they have these actual this actual wrist guard, if I can speak properly, and a wristband over here, so you can clearly see his Arashikage tattoo. Now, I think it's cool that they do that, but in actuality, I wish they would have done something so that they can cover that up, because that's not something that they just want everybody to know is like what clan they're from. It's a little ridiculous if you ask me, but that's just how it is. Let me see if I can. Nope. It looks like we're going to have to, in order to put the hood on, we have to take the head off. So the orange out of the way here, and I just pop the head off so that we can take a closer look at the ninja head. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the hood just pops right on the ninja head. And you can take it right on and right off. But I actually prefer to display him like this with the ninja mask. It actually looks more like the more original figure. Now, the one that came out before this was identical, just different colors. So I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'd have to look again, but that's the way it looked to me. I don't own that one, so I can't say for 100%. But I really think this is a dynamic figure. It has all the classified points of articulation, so the posability of this is really, really good. We'll put these back in the Foot Locker, the hood and the Sean head. That's his name, Sean. And if you want to pause the video earlier on, or it's already up, Kamakura on Joe Takes 38, and you can check that out if you wanted to. Pause on the file card to read that. Now, as far as the cartoons were concerned, I'm pretty sure he was in Spy Troops. He didn't have that big of a part. I mean, he had a scene with Duke that was pretty cool. But for the most part, he had a bigger part in Valor vs. Venom. I do have both of these, but neither one of them had Kamakura on the cover. I mean, they had Snake Eyes here, but not Kamakura. And I don't know, this Kamakura may not have been in that other one, but I know for a fact that he was in this one. I think he was in the other one with this particular outfit, which oddly came out after. And in this movie, I'm pretty sure he got this outfit. So It's been a while. There was a really cool scene of this. Snake Eyes gave him this sword that was made from a meteorite fragment, and it was a really cool katana. And it didn't really look like a katana, but that's what it was supposed to be. And he had a hard time taking it out of the sheath, and Cheeks would make fun of him because he couldn't pull it out of the sheath. So just because it's been given to you doesn't mean you're worthy of using it. But he finally managed to unsheath it in a really cool scene where this Cobra jet called it Night Adder, which is funny because they have a character called that as well. But it came with Wild Weasel, and it came flying in, and he actually leapt up off of a Quonset hut and used that sword. It came right out of the sheath, and he cut the wing off of this Night Adder as it flew by, and he took the plane out. I mean, not very feasible, but it was a really cool scene in animation. I really enjoyed this movie. It was one of the better animated movies that they made for G.I. Joe. So if you have a chance to watch it, I think it might be on YouTube. There's probably a few places you can watch it. Now, as far as the comics are concerned, he was in the Image series and the Devil's Due, but I didn't really have any of those with him in it, at least not that big ones. And he was originally, his name was Sean Broca. Broca's an amalgamation for Cobra, and they were his father was a Crimson Guardsman, but his father was killed by Spirit and Airborne in an attempt to protect Snake Eyes from Firefly destroying him in issue 31 of G.I. Joe. Very cool comic that I've gone over quite a few times on Joe Takes already. But I'm just going into Sean's origin. So a replacement Crimson Guard was sent to his house, and he got from Fred the Second to or I think it was Fred the Second who took Fred the first place or whatever. I don't remember the numbering of the Freds, but that was the Crimson Guards. And that one turned out to be Wade Collins, who had been in Vietnam with Stalker and Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. They were all three in the same, all four of them were in the same unit with two other guys who had gotten killed. And they had thought he had died. And he got left behind in Vietnam as a POW. And this is all the Larry Hama comics. And he actually survived, and he got sent home, and nobody really even knew that he had sent home. He was sent home. He didn't have any family or anything, and he thought his buddies all left him behind, but they had thought he was dead. And so he was disillusioned with the whole the American way of life and everything, and felt that he was betrayed by his country. And so he was easily seduced by Cobra. He had the plastic surgery done to make it look like all the other Fred series Crimson Guardsmen. So he had the same face with blonde hair. And originally, I think he had darker hair, but they changed the cuticles and all that so that his hair was naturally blonde. And Cobra had some really cool technology where they did stuff like that. I don't know, consider it cool, but fascinating at least to me. Now, him and the mother of Sean Broca ended up hitting it off and actually became a couple. And they her kids with the other Fred. Basically, Wade Collins, after he realized his buddy did betray him and leave him behind, came back to away from Cobra. He basically left Cobra with the wife and the kids because they basically felt betrayed by Cobra at that point. And so Sean grew up in that household, and he became Sean Collins. Now, this made him have Snake Eyes and Stalker kind of as uncles, not necessarily Storm Shadow too, but she knew Storm Shadow as well. And so when he grew up, he wrote Snake Eyes a letter about wanting to be a soldier. And the last Marvel comic that was G.I. Joe 155, was all a letter from Sean to Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes wrote back to him. And it was basically the first time in the series you hear Snake Eyes. You see his words in print in the comic. He didn't really say anything, but he wrote a letter, and as you read the letter, you'll read his words. And I thought that was really cool, really well done. And he basically told him what it meant to be a soldier, and he told him all the hardships. He was very honest and forthright with it. And even after that, he decided to become a soldier. He ended up joining G.I. Joe, and so Snake Eyes took it upon himself to train him in the arts of the ninja, and he became Snake Eyes' ninja apprentice. And that's where Kamakura comes from. Now, in the Holoverse, he never became Kamakura. When he joined G.I. Joe, I don't think Larry Hama liked that because Kamakura is like the name of a place in Japan. So he called him Throwdown. And the same character, just, let me see. He said you didn't realize there was such a story behind G.I. Joe? Oh, yes. Oh, it's got an incredible backstory. G.I. Joe, the same guy has been writing G.I. Joe since 1982, Larry Hama. And he has gone from Marvel Comics. He went over to a little bit of Devil's Due from Image. And then when IDW got the contract, he wrote IDW and started his G.I. Joe stories over again from issue 156 all the way to 300 again. He also did another one to get going like 155 and a half or something like that. I can't remember that year. But it started that over. Plus, he wrote a bunch of special missions and other things for IDW, including a series called Silent Auction. But it is an ongoing saga still today. Contract for G.I. Joe has been picked up by Image Comics again, and they are now releasing it. Larry Hama, they've asked him to write it. It's actually the third issue, I think, is out this month. So it's on 303 at this point in time. So, hello, Darkseid. How you doing? Welcome. I was just explaining the mysterious backstory that is G.I. Joe and how many stories it's gone now. That takes us to the IDW series, like I was telling you, as Larry Hama continued his story, and he introduced Kamakura to that storyline as Throwdown. Now, after like 36 issues of that, it was in the 180s or somewhere like that. It's actually after issue 200, where Snake Eyes actually sacrificed himself to stop Serpentor, a new Serpentor that they cloned. There have been several of those throughout the comic. Serpentor tried to become the Cobra Emperor. He was supposed to be a perfect leader for Cobra forces, but he tried to take over Cobra every time. Let's see. Black Widow says, I don't know. There was so much to know about to know. No, that's okay. I'm just a big G.I. Joe fan. I could talk about it all night. But in the comics, like I said, Snake Eyes sacrificed himself. But they didn't want Cobra to know that they had a victory, having killed Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe's greatest warrior. So Sean Collins took his place as Snake Eyes. And so on this cover, that's the only cover I have with Sean Collins as Snake Eyes. So this is the same character as Kamakura, just Larry Hama's version where he became Snake Eyes for quite a while. Throughout most of the IDW run. Now, there was other things that happened with Snake Eyes' character, but I'll go into that another time. And you said me either. Well, I'm glad you find it interesting, Darkseid. Like I said, I could talk about G.I. Joe all night, but he went through a similar experience to Snake Eyes too, right before it had happened, and he sacrificed basically himself to stop this robot from going into space. And when it crashed back down, his face was disfigured just like Snake Eyes. And so they kind of did the whole swap and said he died and Snake Eyes lived. Well, he had survived, but they did the best they could to fix up his face, and he became Snake Eyes, the masked warrior. So that, in a nutshell, is Kamakura. Now, that's his cartoon performances or appearances and his comic appearances that I'm aware of. Like I said, there's probably quite a few more in the Devil's Due and Image series that they had for quite a while. I picked up America's Elite, most of that, and he was in it a little bit, but not a lot. And he's a really cool character. I really enjoy Kamakura as a character. In my Joeverse, my personal Joeverse, this is part of the Joe Takes where I give my opinion on where I see him. He is with my G.I. Joe Fire Team Bravo, and he's Chad's his leader of that team, and he is they have him listed, I'm pretty sure, on the file card. I'll bring this up real quick. Yeah, he is a sergeant. That's right. He's E5, and so he's, like I said, he's a sergeant, and that's what he is. I haven't exactly placed him in Fire Team Bravo, either as a squad leader or just as a specialist. But as a sergeant, he can easily take that position as a squad leader. So could a corporal or a specialist. But the military is kind of weird that way. But yes, his team leader is Chad, who is a command sergeant major, which is guy basically enlisted guy. If you know anything about military ranks, which I kind of know quite a bit about, but I've had to study it. I was never able to join the military, but I love all the stuff for it. I love jets, tanks, and all that kind of cool stuff. So G.I. Joe was right up my alley. Ninjas, generally not so much, but of the ninjas, I really like Snake Eyes. I like Storm Shadow. And of all the extra ninjas they threw in there, Kamakura is one of my favorites. And he's just a dynamic character, and his backstory is really cool. So that's my take on Kamakura. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time on Joe Takes, we're going to have something a little different. Get my music off here, and I will go out and say on this one with what's coming up on Joe Takes 39. I'm going to be taking a look at another troop builder. That would be the original Cobra Trooper. A couple weeks last week, I looked at Cobra Officer. So if you want to check that one out, that's how the Cobras form their troops, with troopers and officers right above them. And so here is Joe Takes 38 for Cobra Trooper. Good night. Here we go. Let's go. Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. And let me turn this down a little bit. So we can talk about Cobra Trooper. Here on Joe Takes 39. Cobra Trooper from the Hill. Now, this is probably the biggest Cobra Trooper in all of Joverse, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to start like I normally do. I think this might be still just a little too loud. Okay. Now, I do have a couple of vintage examples of the Cobra Trooper. However, on my Cobra Officer video a couple weeks ago, I had talked about not knowing what happened to the parts for my Cobra Officer. But looking at my Cobra Trooper today, I have found the parts to my Cobra Officer, in fact, completely intact except for the Cobra Trooper's head. And I always called this guy my Cobra Soldier. Now, the reason why I swapped out parts is because my Cobra Trooper body just disintegrated. It started with his left knee, and I had it taped and all that, and it just never recovered, really. And then when I went to take this figure out to display it tonight and show you guys, the O-ring was, of course, went bad, so I had to replace it. And it wasn't really easy to replace, to open up this figure. It's really old, and I hope I don't ever have to open him up again. Like I said, I always called this guy my Cobra Soldier, and in my Joverse, he ended up becoming Big Bo in this particular character. Now, like I said, there's a Cobra Officer body with a Cobra Trooper head on it, but the only vintage example of a Cobra Trooper I have would actually be the Python Officer. But this is definitely the Cobra Trooper body, but the paint scheme is way different. I did show this guy in my Python Patrol video just a little while ago. Now, I wanted to show in comparison the difference and the reason why that this should have been the Python Trooper. And this is another example of a Cobra Officer I have. And I wanted to show this. I did not find this guy until just tonight, so I didn't get a chance to show him off in my Cobra Officer video, or otherwise I would have. So I kind of wanted to show him off tonight, but as you can see, they're very similar, except for the chest piece for the most part and the knee pads, but they're radically different figures in a lot of ways. Now, of course, paint aside, the color of plastic, but Python Trooper, Cobra Officer. I don't know why they did that and why they're going back to it, but I went over all that in my Python Patrol video. Now that's going to take us to some card examples I have of the Cobra Trooper. Now, originally, the Cobra Trooper was just called the Enemy. And so when they brought him out of the 25th anniversary line, that was his code name, just the Enemy. He wasn't called the Cobra Trooper. And there's the file card if you want to get a better look at it. I had this at the beginning, so you pause that at the beginning if somebody watches this in the replay. Now that's one example I have. But then they brought him out again in the modern line, 25th anniversary line, as the Cobra Trooper. And as you can see, the coloration is different, but we're going to take a better look at these figures here in just a minute. And again, there's the file card saying Cobra Trooper. They brought out the retro line for Walmart exclusive a few years back, and I actually got 3 of these. So these ones look pretty good, and the articulation is great. And I like the fact that they came with Zap's Bazooka and a bunch of other things. It's definitely a well done retro remake of the original Cobra Trooper, and it's nice to have those. Now, that'll take us to the classified, and I have 2 examples of the Cobra Trooper. One's actually Cobra Infantry, but the first one they brought out was Cobra Trooper, and he was number 12 of the series. They had an exclusive exclusive figure. Hang on a second. I have a issue, and I dealt with it. Okay, that was a pretty good sized spider. Okay, there is the Cobra Trooper artwork on the side. I really, really like this artwork, and on the front, it almost looks like he's wearing a graduation cap, but that's actually his take behind him in that picture. If you didn't see that very well, and now they use the same art for the Cobra Infantry Trooper box, which was number 24 of the line. But the back had the standard. It was a regular release figure, so it had the standard pick at the time. But virtually the same picture. Now, there are slight differences in the eyes and whatnot, and I will show you why that is here in just a minute. But that is pretty much the same. So that's Cobra Trooper, Cobra Infantry. Now, I'm going to take a look at Cobra Trooper first because that's the one I got first. And it's the one that came out in the line first. Now, he came with these two really cool rifles. One of them is a massive sniper rifle, and the other, or heavy machine gun, however you want to look at it. And the other one is their standard assault rifle. Now, he also came with a pistol, which is back here in a holster, which I thought was a pretty cool idea. Now, and these guns, the vest came with these little peg holes that you just pop right in and out. Really cool, really cool. Now the helmet just comes right off, and this particular figure came with these really interesting goggles, which are on here super tight, so I'm not going to pull it off of it because I'm going to be looking at the Cobra Infantry, and it's basically the same figure. The other thing that sets this apart from the Cobra Infantry figure is this armband right here that denotes him as an officer of some rank. Not necessarily a Cobra officer, but like maybe a corporal, as they rank up. But according to the original file card, their equivalency for the standard Cobra Infantry is corporal. That might be like a sergeant, and the Cobra officer is supposed to be like a lieutenant or a captain, because the equivalency on that one was 03, which is captain. Now, here's the Cobra Infantry, and I love the way the Cobra symbol on the chest just kind of stands out on both of these figures. But as you can see, I don't know if that's shown up very well, but they are slightly different in coloration, not a lot. The newer one is lighter, and the Cobra Trooper is darker, so the Cobra Infantry is darker. Now, the Cobra, they both came with a combat knife there to the sheath right here. And that just slides in and out really easy. And it's a decent little knife there. And they both have another pistol on the front, so they came with two pistols, which is cool. Same assault rifle with both of them, and the same slots in the backpack to hold the guns. Now, the difference is this one only came with the one gun, their standard assault rifle. But together, I got a couple of Cobra Troopers, and I didn't have to really army build. It's hard to army build with these Cobra Troopers if you don't have the funds to do so. Now, not much to the character on the Cobra Trooper. I mean, they're just the standard infantry, and I see them as a different type of Cobra soldier than a Viper. Larry Hama, who wrote the comic book, just said they were all the same, and he viewed Vipers and Troopers all the same. But I kind of see Troopers as like not necessarily an elite branch, but like a badge of honor to be called a Trooper at some point. So maybe like a fraternity type thing within the Cobra ranks. Now, I'm going to take this out so I don't have it glare. Take a really good look at it. And there's your Cobra Trooper in the comics. Now, the original Cobra Trooper, as I showed you on this example, has the black mask. Whereas in the comics, they all had a red mask, which I thought was interesting. And Oddly enough, there's not a lot of Cobra Troopers on covers of comics. If they have a Cobra Infantry, it's usually the Viper. But I have right there, issues 9 and 10 of the comics. This is actually my favorite Cobra Trooper appearance on the comics anyway. So these are the ones I decided to show you tonight, or this morning, however you want to look at it, being after midnight here. And both of them had Scarlet, ironically enough. This one had 2 Cobra Troopers, and then it also had Snake Eyes there as well. And this was this is where they introduced Springfield. Was I think it's both of these issues, 9 and 10. Not 100% sure about this. It's been a while since I've read these. I probably should get back into it, but I did like how they had on the helmet of the Cobra Trooper, a Cobra symbol, which wasn't present on the action figure. We're going to set this up here. I did want to show that other one off for a while. Now, like I said, so for my Joe-verse, the Cobra Troopers are like a slightly more elite than Vipers, and that's kind of how I view them. Other than that, they're just nameless, faceless Cobras, and that's what they were supposed to be. That being said, that would make this video extremely short. So I decided, since this is a troop builder video, to show my troop building of my Cobra Trooper. Now, I wasn't able to do that with the vintage line, but when the modern line came out, I was able to do so. So I'm going to pull this little box up of my Cobra Troopers, and we're going to take a look at them. And like I said, with the card figures, I was going to take a better look. And so here we go. This is the, let's see here. Make sure I get this right here. Yeah, this is the enemy figure has, this is the Cobra Trooper. Yeah. The enemy is the enemy's this one. So they did bring it out as Cobra the Enemy, like I said, and then they brought it out as the Trooper. So Enemy Trooper. It's kind of cool. So I've got those. Each one of the modern line came with a battle stand. I don't know why they stopped doing that in the classified line. They started doing it with the retro figures. Retro classified. That's pretty cool. This was the Bazooka Trooper. Basically a Cobra Trooper with a nice big old flak vest for protecting him from the bazooka blast or rocket launcher blast. Now, like I said, I have more examples of just the Cobra the Enemy, and he did come with the Dragunov sniper rifle, like the original Cobra Trooper. That's why I wanted to get all these out and kind of show you. Now, the articulation on these was a lot better. And there's the Dragunov sniper rifle. Better look at it. And I, like I said, I have a couple of these. The interesting thing about the Cobra the Enemy figure, the one that they put out, is actually painted the same way as the Viper Pilot. Originally, the Viper Pilot was just a Cobra Trooper that came out in '83 with the silver badge like the Cobra Officer. So this actually is a representation of the Viper Pilot, which is kind of cool because they didn't really bring the Viper Pilot ever back out again other than that. Now, this was the best Cobra Trooper they made. Hello, Victor. How you doing, sir? Just looking at my Cobra Troopers right now and talking about them. So if you have any questions or any comments, I will definitely put them up on the screen. So welcome. It's nice to see that you joined me tonight. I'm all by myself tonight. All by myself. But yeah, I could do these alone or with somebody to chat. It's fun either way. I just like the way they painted this particular one. This is the Cobra Trooper that came with the Mass Device 5-pack with a bunch of other characters, Cobra Commander, and a Duke with a jetpack, if I remember correctly, and the first piece to the Mass Device. Let's see. How did you keep the thumbs from breaking? On the modern line, that really wasn't an issue. The plastic was a little softer, but on some of these older ones, I never had that issue with the Cobra Officer. This is the Cobra Officer body, but the Cobra Trooper head. But that wasn't really a thing. Now my Cobra Trooper body, I broke the thumbs off. I broke the elbow. One of the legs broke. I mean, it was a mess. So yeah, that plastic is a lot more brittle on the older ones. But when they brought this guy out with a comic pack in the 2000s, they kind of fixed that. It's made of a sort of softer plastic, but it's still really sturdy. And so when they brought out the retro line, it was a little different. And then they brought some more O-rings out, and I've heard people complain about how too soft of the plastic it is. I don't know. I didn't have those, so I can't really complain or say. Now I did pick up a Python Trooper in the modern line. Basically the same figure, no knee pads. I don't know why they didn't have the knee pads on any of the Cobra Troopers except for. No, it looks like all these have it, especially this guy who actually looks the best out of all the Cobra Troopers. I thought more like the cartoon. And there's your Python Trooper. Well, it's actually your Python Officer, but it's still a Trooper. And I agree, they're pretty nice, Victor. Then they for the Resolute, for G.I. Joe Resolute, they actually had a bunch of figures. G.I. Joe Resolute was an animated movie that came out in the early 2000s, early on. Victor says, which Destro was better, gold or silverhead? I'm kind of partial to the silverhead, but the golden head one has grown on me as I've gotten more of an adult, and so I appreciate it more than the original. But I'm still a big fan of the silver-headed Destro, which happens to be on my desk almost all the time. I'm a big Destro fan. I mean, Cobra Commander is my favorite, but they don't have a retro Cobra Commander available yet. I know one came with the HISS driver, but with the new HISS tank and the HISS driver, but that hasn't been put out for release yet. Silver for the win. I kind of agree, sir. Like I said, I do have a good appreciation for the gold head Destro as well. Now, as far as these the Resolute series, when it came out, they put out these really cool looking Cobra Troopers. I thought they did a really good job, and they looked a lot like the Cobra Troopers in the Resolute animated movie, which was actually a series of internet shorts that they turned into a movie. Because it was one season of like 15 episodes that they turned into a movie, but they were only like 5 to 7 minutes each. Anyway, this dude here, I like the red. I don't know. I guess he's a Crimson Trooper, but I don't remember him actually being in the animated movie. But it was something that they brought out, and I picked up because I liked the way it looked. But to me, the coolest Cobra Trooper was the Pursuit of Cobras Shock Trooper. Yeah, this bad boy came with a lot of accessories and weapons, and this flak jacket or web gear, it's just badass. And it even says Cobra on the back. I mean, let's see if I get a good shot of that up there by the camera, if it'll focus. Do they have a slot hole on the back? No, not these guys. Well, they have like a backpack hole on the modern line, but it was a lot smaller, and it never worked as good as the original backpack holes on these O-ring figures. I don't know why they had to screw it up. I mean, it was a pretty simple design. Yeah, you saw it. Okay, cool. I know some of them their web gear or whatever interfered, but most of the time they had it out of the way. But like this one, you have to adjust it to put a backpack on there. But for this the classified line, they have these pegs on the back where you just plug the guns right in there. So they did make some improvements on with the classified. Like I said, they just pop right in and out of these little slots for both guns for the Cobra Trooper. The Cobra Infantry only came with one, but still had the two slots. It was the same vest, just for it didn't come with as many accessories, the Cobra Infantry, as the Cobra Trooper did for the classified. But there you have it. I'll see if I can get a decent view of all of them together. It's my little Cobra army. Hello, Widow. Black Widow channel, checking us out tonight. Nice to see you. I'm going to wrap this up here in a little bit. Classified does look cool. I have to agree, Victor. But I really, as much as the Cobra Infantry is cool, and it was nice that they released it in the general release. This Cobra Island Cobra Trooper figure, to me, has a darker color to it, and just looked better. Even the helmet just had a better look to it, and the colors were a little bit better. As you can see, that Cobra Infantry, I don't know if that's showing up on camera very well, but it's a duller color than the Cobra Trooper. But that's the only difference between the two figures, is some of the accessories the Cobra Trooper came with over the Cobra Infantry. These goggles, though, were just dynamite. They made the figure look so much better. Anyway, now as far as the cartoon is concerned, they were all over the first season of the animated series, and a few times you'd see them in the second season, but for the most part, they were replaced by the Viper. But every time you turn around, Cobra had Cobra Troopers, and I would say probably almost any episode. What does the classified Scarlet look like? Well, I could probably go get it for you, but I would be off camera for a bit. If you don't mind, I can go grab it and show you, but it's on the wall. Actually, I had two of them, but I did an episode of Joe Takes for Scarlet a while back, and I do a detailed look at both Scarlet figures. Then, all right, I'll go get it. Hang on just a sec. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music. All right. Scarlet was number 5 of the line out of the original 5. Get right out with no problem, Victor. Like I said, it was just in the other room on the wall. But I'm gonna have to put these guys all away, and that's kind of what she looks like. And like I said, I did a deeper dive on my Scarlet video, and it's also in the Joe Takes Classic episode I did. I actually had 4 episodes of Joe Takes on it, and I ran them live just a couple of nights ago, last Thursday night actually, and it was pretty cool. And the artwork for that was great too. Yeah, they also came out with a movie figure Scarlet, and they've got a retro one coming out that looks really good that I want to pick up, and it's going to be general release too. They're not going to be Walmart exclusive anymore, but I thought she looked a lot like the actress that played her in the Snake Eyes movie. So I thought they did a good job with the figures. In spite of whatever, a lot of people don't care for the Snake Eyes movie. I didn't mind it so much. I don't think it was a Snake Eyes movie, but it was a fun movie. But I'll put them up here side by side so you can take a look. There's Scarlet. And there you go. Let me see. So I remember the Phil Noto art you showed me before. Cool. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember on which particular video, but I remember doing that. Anyway, if you have any questions about Cobra Troopers, I have a few. And I definitely, when I had the money back in the the late 2000s and early 2000 teens. I picked up as many of them as I could. And I actually have almost forgot. I'm glad I stuck around. Well, I do have some of those retro ones. I was kind of going to show real quick out of the package. So see if I have to take them out of the plastic to give you a good look. But that's, like I said, they come with a bazooka and all that stuff. But all my accessories are in a different package. For the longest time, I just threw all the accessories in one bin, and I wish I'd never done that. The other one they came out with that was a Cobra Trooper for the retro line was the Fang Pilot, the Cobra rugby team. Yep. That would be the Cobra Pilot, and definitely reminiscent of the 25th anniversary Fang Copter Pilot that they put out. But it's basically a Cobra Trooper with a gas mask. It looks pretty cool. They did. They made a female Cobra officer, and they've got a Valkyrie pack for classified out right now that has a female Cobra Trooper and a female Cobra officer. I just haven't picked it up yet, and as soon as I can, I will. But yeah, they did. I have a modern Cobra, a female Cobra officer too. But that'd be quite a trick to get that one out with no notice. But yeah, I didn't have any female Cobra Troopers per se, but yeah, they do have the new Valkyrie set, which is pretty cool. And that's really my take on Cobra Trooper, with a bonus look at Scarlet. Now, like I said, I differentiate Cobra Troopers and Cobra Vipers, and it's kind of like a badge of honor to be a trooper. And the Vipers are just your standard Cobra infantry. So that's the difference I make, and the distinction I make between the two. But that, like I said, that's my take on the Cobra Trooper and Cobra Infantry. You know, listen, you used to see cosplayers as female Cobra Troopers. Yep, me too. They used to have quite a few pictures online of them. They're probably still out there somewhere. But with that all being said, I think I'm pretty much done. Almost hit the half hour. I've got one more thing I'm gonna show you on my way out here. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be doing next week. So let me turn off the music here. And hey, you're welcome, Victor. I love showing off my G.I. Joes, so it's no big deal. Like I said, next week I've got Torpedo that I'm going to be taking a look at, the new classified Torpedo. So here's my on Joe Takes number 40. We'll see you next time. Logan out.
And Gung Ho says his ridiculous line.
It's not going to be that ridiculous.
And Gung Ho says his ridiculous line.
It's not going to be that ridiculous.
Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Tonight, we have Joe Takes number 40. We're going to be looking at the first and best seal, in my opinion, on the G.I. Joe team. It's going to be Torpedo from the Hill. So, like always, we start with the vintage figure. I actually have two of these, but I couldn't find my second one. He's in my doubles bag, which I have misplaced for whatever reason. As soon as I get things situated, I will most likely find that. And I'm sure his flippers are in there too. I just couldn't find those. It was weird. But, you know, such is life. We got things going on in our lives, and sometimes things don't always go the way we want. Now, when I did put him on the battle stand, his foot at the back where the peg hole is cracked a little bit. So I'm probably going to take some harness nails and put it on there to keep it from cracking any further. It's a cheap little trick, and it once it dries, you can't really see it. And it's a pretty decent seal, it actually. I mean, yeah, it comes off pretty easy, but if you don't put it in the nail polish remover or alcohol, it should stay just fine. Now, this is from a weapons pack, his spear gun. I do have one of the original black ones. Again, it's probably with my other Torpedo. Now, this backpack actually contained not only his air tank, but these two little things on the side. And I always imagined that those were propellant so that he could go faster underwater. I thought that was pretty cool. I did like the fact that cartoon or comic book, he was always roaming around in his wetsuit. I thought that was neat. Now, there were times when he wasn't, especially in the comics, but in the cartoon, he was always in this wetsuit. They also, just as a side note, you could army build him because you can't see his face. In the R2, they had a bunch of divers with this exact suit, only it was yellow and gray, I think. It was pretty cool. Now, I do have one other, well, I have a couple, but I'm going to only show one Torpedo. And he came out in, I think, 2003. And when they did this, they called him Chief Torpedo. He was always a chief warrant officer, so that there's no reason not to call him Chief Torpedo. But I think they did that for copyright reasons. He came with one of these ridiculous guns, and I'm going to take it out of his hand. It doesn't even really fit in his hand. I have the clip in his hand. But these would pop into the vehicles, and it would activate sound effects. It was kind of neat. It was a good idea, but it made the accessories ridiculously large. It had this big old peg on it that I didn't really care for. It was a nice idea, but I wish they implemented it a little better. Now, he did come with a pretty cool pistol, and this is basically a torpedo for going on land, which I thought was neat. But they did give him a rebreather, so he could go underwater as well, which is kind of nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure this figure actually did come with gear where he could do that. This was a spy troops or a mission commander. He came out both ways.
And I'm pretty sure I got mine as a mission commander that came with a disc with a cartoon. It was kind of cool. Now this comes off. It's just a little like vest that pops on and off, and then you got yourself a torpedo that could go on land. Now, I did get another torpedo that could go on land that came with a vamp and a couple other figures, Pathfinder and Outback, if I remember correctly. And that was the Vamp Mark 6. That's a pretty cool vamp. It has a gun on the back instead of the standard 2 guns or missiles. And it was a darker creed. It was kind of neat. And it was pretty much in the same series as is Valor versus Venom or Spy Troops. And that's about this era where he came out, the early 2000s. But what the innovations they did make was the plastic was definitely more durable, yet softer, and they fit right on the battle stands, no issues. Most of them, yes. But they did have roughly the same articulation. Some of them had better, but this particular figure just has the joint at the arm, the swivel arm battle grip, as they say, but it's actually lower right at the elbow, which was interesting. And of course, they have the natural stuff at the top, and the knees bend at the same, just like all that. I'm not gonna copy my idol Hooded Cobra Commander and go into all that. So I'm not actually doing a review. I'm just showing my figures. So I did like the skull cap, which is neat because it's probably a baklava or however you call it, however you pronounce it. I haven't been really good at pronouncing words lately, but baklava, I'm pretty sure. And that can pull down over like a mask. That's like beachhead wears or something similar. I thought this was a pretty cool update to Torpedo in the early 2000s. And like I said, it gives you another option than just having him in his wetsuit all the time. Now, takes us to the classified box art. Now he is number 73 in the series. Now this is a little bit different. It shows you on the back all the figure and the accessories, which I kind of liked. There are certain things that they did with this window-free packaging that I did like. I do like this box art on the side more so than what it is on the front, even though this pick is pretty cool, although it's just a smaller version of that. Now, he also comes with a foot locker, which I'll break out and show you because I like this innovation in the Joe Takes. And it looks like I got somebody called it thing. Hello. Hey, Seraphis, how you doing? I think I got an off-brand knockoff torpedo one year for my birthday when I was about 7. It annoyed me, but at least I could splash him. Yeah, they made a lot of those, bud, and that's okay. So long as you can imagine that it was your torpedo. But I did like the fact that they came with these foot lockers. Now, I have all my accessories on my current torpedo, but it was nice that they have his name right on the box. 73. So when you're displaying them, you can actually show this off as part of the figure. And it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a decent addition to the collection, even though the windowless packaging isn't my favorite. I do prefer the window packaging, but I wish they would have included the foot lockers when they went back to it. They didn't do that with Mutt. I hope at some point that they do. I'll go back to that. Now, I do like this part, which, again, the windowless packaging, they just went back to the regular art on the side and whatnot. But they did have the art on the side as black and white inside on all of these. And I'm going to try to remember to show these off because that's pretty cool. So that they did that. And as you can see, it's the same art. It's just black and white. It's kind of cool. Very nice details that they added to these windowless boxes. And, they're not bad. I prefer like I said, the window packaging. Well, when you order online, it really doesn't matter. That's what most of us do nowadays. Well, thanks. I agree. I think it's very cool too. We'll set him over here, and we're going to take a look at this classified figure. Now, he does come with this one. I have his flippers because he's brand new, of course. I do have the other one's flippers, like I said, but it's in storage somewhere. I have a lot of stuff, so it's hard to go through it all sometimes. Now, these, I will put them on his feet and show you what they look like here in just a minute, but I kind of like displaying it with the flippers over his shoulder. Now, I thought they did a really good job of giving him a Hawaiian likeness. I don't know if you can really focus on that. But I thought it looked pretty cool. Now maybe if I get it closer to the camera and come down, maybe it'll focus, but I doubt it. And he's just, I thought they did a really good job putting it together. They have his torpedo gun, the harpoon gun, as I should say. But they also gave him a submachine gun, which was nice. And you could remove his knife on the side. Now, a lot of the later ones started doing that too, and the modern figures, you could do that as well. Now, all of this gear should fit on his backpack, and it probably does, but I haven't figured out how to do it all. And I do like his breathing apparatus here for his backpack. He looks pretty cool with his gear on, all geared up, as they say. Now, I like how it attaches to the backpack too. It just kind of pegs in there. And it's very similar to the original, but I wish they'd have gone ahead and not necessarily done the orange tapes. I mean, I like the black, but I wish they'd have put on the side the ability to propel him further through the water. I'm not sure they understood what that was when they were going through redoing these classified figures. Some of that art is lost on what exactly things were, I think, because they had some of the changes they made. You just kind of look at it and go, why? But on this particular figure, I think they did a really good job of updating him to the classified. Maybe let's see if I get his mask on straight there. There we go. I like this one a lot. Torpedo, to me, is a really cool character, and I'm glad that they brought him out in the classified line. I mean, I know they're trying to get all the older Joes, and he came out in 1983 originally. And so, like I said, I have my 1983 figure, which is pretty cool. And I'm glad I have two of those, actually. I at one point was going to army build him, but I decided against it, and I ended up getting the second one. And I'm like, but Torpedo's so cool. Why would I do that? I would rather army build Wetsuit and put different heads on Wetsuit. Wetsuit was a different looking figure, but it made sense for a troop builder more so to me than Torpedo did. But that's just my take on it. And like I said, the flippers go on there pretty good. They definitely stay on better than Snow Job snowshoes, which when I take a look at Snow Job in the future, I will definitely show those off too. But I do love the gray and the black look with the red highlights all over the figure. I'm glad they added the red to the flippers. That's very cool. At least I think so. Now, he does stand up on his own fairly well with the flippers, but he doesn't stand up perfectly, and they can come off. I mean, they're on there pretty good right now. But either that or I figured out how to put them on these. Sometimes with these classified figures, you have to figure stuff out, and that's cool. And they do have pegs on the bottom of the flippers, so you can actually display him with the flippers on too on the battle stand. And so it's kind of cool. Very, very well done figure. At least I think so. And Seraphis is saying, yeah, it's got a cool orca color scheme. Really cool. Yes, it does. I didn't put two and two together like that. Thank you, Seraphis. That's awesome. That's going to take us to the animated series. Now, he was in Menace of the Mass Device, the very first one, which they renamed G.I. Joe: Real American Hero. But as far as I remember, it was originally called Menace of the Mass Device, which was Cobra's big plot in that. And he showed up in a big old submarine where the Joes had these little shark-like things before the shark even came out. And it was kind of interesting. They were like precursors to the shark. It was nice to see that in the cartoon. That first one, they kind of just had to make stuff up, and it was really neat. A Torpedo's ride, basically, in that 1983, they had this mailway thing called the Mantis, which was a little surfboard with a sail on it and a machine gun. Now, I don't remember if that came out in 83 or 84, but it was around that time period. That was a cool little accessory that you could put together. It all folded up into a backpack. It was kind of neat. I don't have one of those, or else I'd be showing it off to you. But the general release, they also had the APC, and APC is my favorite vehicle, and I always had Torpedo in that because it's the amphibious personnel carrier. It goes right on water. So why wouldn't you have Torpedo in your amphibious vehicle, which he's your amphibious trooper? So that's just how I see that. Now, he was in a few episodes of the series. He was in Cobra Stops the World, where him and Deep Six took on this Cobra bubble on top of the water out in the middle of the ocean, and he went underwater and took out a bunch of eels, and Deep Six came over and helped him. It was definitely a neat, a very neat episode of the cartoon. His part in it was really, him and Deep Six, it was really small, but it was pretty cool, and it was pivotal to the storyline as well. So that was kind of nice. He told Duke it would make a nifty aquarium after him and Deep Six put a big hole in it and it was sinking. So that was kind of fun. He did have some neat lines, although I don't believe he was in Revenge of Cobra except for maybe like a cameo, but I don't think he had a voice. But in Menace of the Mass Device, he had a different voice than he did in the regular series. Now, his voice in Menace of the Mass Device was okay, but in the regular series, he sounded like a Hawaiian, which is cool. And his name is Edward Torpedo Lealoha, or Lealoha. I was looking up the pronunciation for that tonight, so I hope I got it right. Lealoha. I always thought it was a really cool name, and it set him apart from the other Joes because not only was he a SEAL and a sailor, but he was a Hawaiian, which was a first. I never even heard of a Hawaiian figure ever before that. I thought that was neat, or really since. I mean, maybe Hawaii 5-0 figures or something. I don't know. But as far as G.I. Joe is concerned, he's the only Hawaiian that I know of, and he represents pretty well. Let me see. I can think of he was in a cameo appearance in the cartoon on the Synthoid Conspiracy, but he was a Synthoid in that. Torpedo was just throughout the series here and there, and he didn't have a starring role in any of them, and none of them really, other than Cobra Stops the World, really stand out that much, or Menace of the Mass Device, where he actually was in charge of the mission, which I'll get talking to about his character here in a bit. Now, he was in quite a few of the comics by Larry Hama, the Marvel Comics series. His first appearance, he was teamed up with Butt and Tripwire, and they basically got taken on a little merry chase by a junkyard. And as kind of a comic adventure that they were on, and it was a lot of fun. And there's stories about that where Larry Hama ended that with Destro, Firefly, and Wild Weasel in Quicksand. Pretty sure it was Wild Weasel with him, and he just junkyard led the Cobras into that and led the Joes straight to the Cobras, and it seemed like he was helping Cobra right up to the very end. It was kind of interesting way to use the dog, I thought. Now, one of my favorite storylines with Torpedo in the comic book was in this yearbook here, where he and Wetsuit, which was, I think Larry Hama really was happy that he got a second SEAL to team Torpedo up with, because he did quite a few stories where he and Torpedo were out in the thick of it in the field, and neither one of them in this actually were in wetsuits when they were on land, which was kind of neat, because SEALs don't generally operate on land. Let me see if there's a good shot here that I can find of Torpedo with wetsuit. There they go. They're all decked out in camo, and I'm pretty sure that's wetsuit there, and Torpedo back there with the buoy hat on, jungle hat, as it were. And it was nice to see them in jungle fatigues on a jungle mission, because SEALs could go anywhere, sea, air, land. That's what the moniker is all about. Now, some of the comics covers that I have with Torpedo are pretty cool. I tried to find all the ones I have, but I have a lot of comics, so I'm going to take this out so we don't get plastic glare. This is a trade paperback of the IDW series, still by Larry Hama. And you got Torpedo up here in the middle there. on this boat, and there was a couple of issues with Torpedo that was really cool like that. Now, Beachhead and Stalker were in command of this mission, mostly Stalker, but they relied on Torpedo's expertise when they were on the water, and he was commander of the boat. So that's how G.I. Joe works. When you're in the field, they go by the specialty as to who's in charge, and if you're in the water, then you go by the highest ranking naval officer, and usually that's shipwreck. He's their chief of the boat, or when he first appeared in the comics, he was commander of the transportable tactical battle platform. It was interesting, very, very interesting. Now, one of my favorite appearances by Torpedo, though, is this one here, Special Missions #1. Now, he and Wetsuit again together. It was nice. Well, this was actually before that yearbook, but like I said, I think Larry Hama was really looking forward to getting the second SEAL to work with. And they put them together in this, and they actually helped a Russian naval captain defect to the United States. And meanwhile, the Baroness at Cobra was trying to stop them from whatever they were doing. They didn't even know. And this was a really interesting first issue for Special Missions. They did have a smaller Special Missions in the back of issue 50 as a premiere for it, but this is the actual series of Special Missions, and it was starring Torpedo and Wetsuit, which was kind of cool. Very nice issue. Now, I've seen a lot of these on sale at local comic shops for really cheap. So if you want to pick up Special Missions, now's probably a good time to do it. I actually seen them as low as $1, but it depends on your comic shop too. The latest comic that he was in, still written by Larry Hama, was Silent Option. Now, he's up here in the corner, and for some reason, they had Agent Helix in charge, and she's just a specialist, but they actually had Bomb Strike in charge at first, and they were looking for Agent Helix, and Bomb Strike was right here, and Bomb Strike's just a sergeant. And they had Alpine in here that had seniority. That's the new Snake Eyes with I just did a Kamakura's video a couple weeks ago, and that's who became the new Snake Eyes there for a while. And that's the female Snake Eyes that had Snake Eyes' brain downloaded into his memories downloaded into her brain. Let me see here. So you have to watch that video. I go into a full detailed background of all that stuff. Baroness, the Joes have their SEAL team heading somewhere. Quick, we must stop them. Yes, that's about how it was. They didn't know why the Joes were there. They were there for another reason, and so was the October Guard. But if I recall correctly, yeah, definitely, because Dana was flying a helicopter with that, and it was pretty cool. It's definitely a good read. That's the older the comic, generally the better read. But Larry Hama still writes some pretty good stuff. Now, I'm not I'm really hip on the new G.I. Joe storyline that's with Image. That's because it's all a zombie thing, and I like zombies, but it just, I don't know, it feels weird in G.I. Joe. And let me see, Torpedo's right there in the middle on this one with the red background. He was just part of the team on this one, but his expertise came in handy. They were on the ocean a lot, and again, it was mostly about Agent Helix. It was kind of like her premiere in the comics, and they gave her a limited series called Silent Option, but it was just the G.I. Joe team. And there you have Torpedo again back there. I don't know if you can really see that. He's really small, but the rest of the team is back there. And then you got Agent Helix like this. And he wasn't on the cover of issue 4, but I'll show you anyway. It was definitely a cool comic book. The whole limited series was decent. And I was happy that I picked this up. Now, that takes us to my opinion on Torpedo. And he's my SEAL team commander. And I had actually, before I started this video, looked something up about it. He is a Warrant Officer 4. Now, the modern line, they called him Lieutenant Torpedo, but they still had him listed on his file card as a CW4, which is a Chief Warrant Officer 4, which is why they got away with calling him Chief Torpedo with this figure and a couple of other releases. I like the fact that they called him Chief Torpedo because he's a Chief Warrant Officer, so it just works. But it's not the chief in the Navy that you would think, because a chief of the boat or a chief warrant officer, chief petty officer is generally who they call a chief. But whatever works, he's still a chief warrant officer. But I'm going to read this off the internet. Do warrant officers lead teams? I wanted to clarify this because I knew that they did, but I wanted to make sure that I was right. And this says warrant officers in the rank of WO1 or CW2 serve as Special Forces Operational Detachment, Alpha, SFODA, primarily as the Assistant Detachment Commander, and can also serve as the Assistant Detachment Commander, can also serve as the Detachment Commander in the absence of a commander. Select CW3, CW4, which is Chief Warrant Officer, serve as the Commander of Special Teams. Now, Torpedo is your highest ranking naval officer in G.I. Joe, other than the Admiral. So he is their SEAL Team Commander de facto, because he's their only, he's their highest ranking SEAL. It's not their only SEAL, but he's their highest ranking SEAL. Now, they did bring out another a SEAL call, which is basically, I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. It's a darker Torpedo, all in black. It's the same figure, but they called him Wet Down. And he came out in 2001 or 2002. I'm not really sure which exactly, but I remember getting it in a 2-pack. And it's an awesome figure. But he was not, what I was trying to say here is, he's a Chief Warrant Officer as well, but they had him listed as CW5, which is a rank in the Navy, but it's not used very often. I can look it up real quick to see if it's still used. Let me see. Is CW5 still a pay grade used by the U.S. Navy? And we'll just find out together. Yep, it is still it's still a rank. So I know sometimes they take ranks away and add them and put them back in. So it's nice to see what's current. And so actually, Wet Down would be the highest ranking SEAL. But the way I see it in the Joes, Torpedo has seniority. He should have the CW5. And if they promoted him to lieutenant, which they have said on a file, not on a file card, but on the front, they actually gave him the code name Lieutenant Torpedo. So, in my opinion, he is the G.I. Joe Team SEAL Commander by default. Sort of like when you have a Sergeant Major and a Master Sergeant. Sometimes the Master Sergeant is in charge. Hello, Kiwi Customs and Collection. Yo, Joe, how's it going, mate? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you are. Just wrapping up my Torpedo video here. Just talking about where I place him in my G.I. Joe ranks, in my Joe-verse, my headcanon. Like I said, he's my SEAL Team Commander. Don't forget to hit that like button. I hope so. Thank you, sir. Now, I had many adventures with Torpedo. I've always thought he was the coolest SEAL that they put out. I like Wetsuit. I don't dislike Wetsuit. I just find Torpedo to be a cooler character. Maybe it's because I got to know him sooner. I started collecting in '85, the year before Wetsuit came out. So it's not like, I had a bigger chance to get to know Torpedo, but the cartoon had been out for a while, and I had seen him in Menace of the Master Vice, and then again in the first season of G.I. Joe. And I don't know, to me, he's a more interesting character. Now, I have to say I enjoy the duo between Wetsuit and Leatherneck. That's awesome. But Torpedo and Gung-Ho did not have that kind of rivalry or animosity. That's probably not the correct word. It'd probably be frenemies relationship that Wetsuit and Leatherneck have. Torpedo just seemed to get along with everybody. And on the file card said he had the personality of a cold fish, if I recall correctly. And they never portrayed him that way. Not in the comics, not in the cartoon. So maybe Larry Hama just changed his mind. It happens. And when we write, as writers, we do this sometimes. Now, I'm going to show my two. Well, I guess he would be considered vintage now, even in the 2000s, seeing how we're in 2024. So he's at least 20 years old, and he's over 40 now. He's 41. So that's quite a difference. Now, the classified figure, I will also show one more time because I enjoy showing off my figures. And I think these classified figures are really cool. And again, I really, really thought they did a great job on his Hawaiian likeness. Let me see. Tornado is one badass dude with a cool attitude, bro. Torpedo. Yeah, Torpedo. Did they call him Tornado in New Zealand? That'd be cool to find out. Because here in the States, we call him Torpedo. Tornado sounds actually pretty cool, like tornado. What am I doing? I've got renovations going on in my house right now, and so I've got fans going and all sorts of things. And so my head is just kind of whew in certain areas. And so tornado. I don't know why I pronounced that tornado. Tornado sounds cool too. But yes, tornado. Now, like I said, is that what code name he went by in Australia and New Zealand? Because that would be interesting. Because if he did go by that, that's kind of cool. Because tornado, torpedo, both very cool code names. All right, so that's my take on torpedo. It'd be good to find out if that's what he went by in the land down under, as it were, and their friends across the water in New Zealand, the Kiwis. But I've got a hey, you say it's going to be a bloody iPhone. Oh, okay, corrected it. Okay, and I'm mispronouncing tornado. You're getting auto-corrected tornado. So don't feel bad, buddy. We're just people. We're only human. So what I do have for you to end this out tonight is I have what's coming up next time on Joe Takes. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of Joe Takes 40 and Torpedo, my take. And on that note, Logan out. Now let me start this, and you guys have a good day. Greetings, I'm Logan with G.I. Joe Gamer, and tonight on Joe Takes 41, we're going to be taking a look at a real first Dreadnought Ripper from the hilt. Now, we didn't have looked at Zartan and Zorana on this show, but they are kind of like the leaders and are a little set apart from the Dreadnoughts. I mean, Zorana is definitely a Dreadnought, don't get me wrong, it's just I consider the three original Dreadnoughts the heart of the Red Dot team, sub-team, as it were, G.I. Joe. So we're going to start like we normally do. We'll take a look at the vintage stuff. I do have a vintage Ripper. I had to actually replace his O-ring tonight, which gave me the opportunity to clean him up real good. So it's looking pretty nice. Got a little sidearm there. How you doing, some random dog? Oh, I do one of these pretty much every Friday at midnight after our Friday show. So don't worry about it. Glad to see you today. I hope you like G.I. Joe, because tonight we're talking about Dreadnoks, specifically Ripper. Now, he was, like I said, he was one of the 3 original Dreadnoks. The other 5 cards, I'm pretty sure his name is Harry Dodd. And so of the 3, he's the Tom, or Harry, and we had Tom and Richard. So you have Tom, Dick, and Harry as your 3 original Dreadnoks. That was Larry Hama's little joke when he wrote the file cards. And he's also the one who wrote the original Marvel Comics run, and is currently still writing the same storyline. Now, there really wasn't a lot of Ripper figures in the vintage line. That was the only one. But in the early 2000s, they did come out with a few of them. And then naturally, they did the 25th anniversary of the modern line. That's 4-inch, but 3 3/4. There were at least 3 of them, and I have this one here. This one came out in 2003 in a 2-pack with Roadblock, part of the Valor vs. Venom. I'm pretty sure. Could have been Spy Troops in that era, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Spy Troops. Yeah. I don't know which one had the spy gear. Usually one of them came with the spy gear, one or the other. Not tonight. Generally, I get a couple people in here that like to talk G.I. Joe with me. But I do it at this time so that I can get my point across and it's quiet. And if there is anyone that shows up, it's only a couple people. But anyway, this particular Dreadnok, he came out. And I kind of relate to him at this moment in time because I have the Ripper beard and I also have a black hat. But mine says G.I. Joe naturally, because I'd rather be a Joe than a Cobra or a Dreadnok. But I do like the Dreadnoks. I think my music may be just a bit too loud, so we're going to cut it down just a bit. There we go. Now, normally I jump right to the classified box art, but tonight I want to talk about the character a little bit first. There's a reason for that. When I get to the classified box art, it should become apparent. But we're going to talk about the cartoon first. The Dreadnoks first appeared in the animated series, miniseries, Revenge of Cobra, the second miniseries that Sunbow and Hasbro made together. And it was a 5-part miniseries. And they played a pretty big part in that. And they got a pretty good introduction as being the Dreadnoks. And the regular series, the year after that started, had featured them in the very first episode, Countdown for Zartan. And they got to show off, right at the beginning of that, they got to show off their various abilities as the Dreadnoks. Ripper with his, he has a bigger weapon that's like a Jaws of Life, but in reverse. He likes to tear things apart. And he's the one who came with this classic rifle with the axe on it. And I've always really dug this weapon. Now, I did have his Jaws of Life type thing, but like I said, it's probably my storage because I couldn't find it with my accessories. And right now, my house is kind of in the middle of upheaval, but that's okay. We'll talk about the comic a little bit. Now they appeared before this issue. This is one of the best covers with the 3 original Dreadnoks, and there he is right there in the middle. That's Ripper there. And you got Buzzer down here, and my favorite Dreadnok, Torch, up here. Now they got a Buzzer figure, and I might be taking a look at him in a few weeks. But the one I'm waiting for really is Torch. They also got Nagahide coming out, which was one of the last Dreadnoks in the vintage line to come out. On my birthday is in April, on the 16th. But we're going to kind of be on hiatus on that one. So we'll be doing live play games, but probably not live streams like this. But yeah, so that makes me an Aries, I guess, if that's what you're looking for. But that issue was just them like tearing apart just on the highway, and Rock and Roll and Clutch and Breaker were on vacation. And they kind of had a rumble with them. It was pretty cool. March 14th. Well, that's going to be in a month, so hopefully I'll remember, and I'll give you a shout out there. And if I remember right, your name was, because I just got a comment from you earlier today, and I appreciate all the likes and comments. If I can find it real quick, but I get lots of likes and comments now. But I think you said your name was like Annie or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look it up again. Now, this particular cover debuted, ironically enough, Thrasher, and you got Ripper up here on the back, and I really like this cover because it showcases that his weapon with the axe on the front, and this is the Thunder Machine that they're running. It's kind of sad because the driver of the Thunder Machine does not appear on this cover. Just the Thunder Machine. Thrasher was the fourth or fifth Dreadnought that came out, right along with Monkey Wrench, who was on the cover. And also that same year that those two came out, Xandar and Zarana, Zartan's brother and sister, came out. So the first 2 years of the Dreadnoughts, they put out four Dreadnoughts, Zartan and the three main Dreadnoughts. And the second year, they put out two new Dreadnoughts, one in a vehicle, and then the Xandar and Zarana. Let me see. I can say that my name is a very Ching Chong name. That's okay. We all have our names that we live with. Some that we choose, and some that we're given. And I appreciate my given name. I got a nap looking at me. I appreciate some of the names that I've been given as a YouTuber. I gave the nickname Logan years ago as a gamer. I gave the nickname the G.I. Joe Gamer not too long ago from a fellow YouTuber, and I definitely appreciate all those names. And my author name is Christopher Hilt. So on my novels, that's what you'll see. And Hilt is spelled Hildt, just like the name of our channel. That's actually my mom's maiden name, so that's where I get that. And I really, for fantasy novels, that works out really good. Just as an author name, it works out really good. At least I think so. All right, so in the comics, the Dreadnoughts were kind of just there. I did like the aspect of a biker gang. Zartan had a bigger role to play in the overall series. Ripper, not so much. He's kind of like a background character, and that's kind of how I saw it. He was kind of a background character in the cartoon. In the cartoon, they did something really cool where the Dreadnoughts got dressed up as rock and rollers and lip synced a song called "Cold Slither," but I believe the voice actors actually did the singing for that, so it was kind of cool. So in a sense, the Dreadnoughts actually sang a song called "Cold Slither," and that was also the name of their band. And it was a lot of fun, that episode of the first season of Sunflow's G.I. Joe, the very first series, G.I. Joe animated series. And Ripper was a part of that, and so was Torch and Zartan and Buzzard. And that's a lot of fun. So if you haven't ever seen that and you want to get into G.I. Joe, that's a good one to watch. It's near the end of the first season. But that finally will take us to my opinion of Ripper. Let me see here. So random dog, you say, kept my bear's name. His name is Jungle Skog. In Swedish, I think it means jungle. I don't know, but Jungle Skog is pronounced Jungle Skog. Oh, that was pretty close. I was pretty close. So that's kind of cool. I don't mind that. That's your bear's name. Your bear is a very cool icon, or your don't know a lot of the YouTube terms myself, but it's your picture used here on YouTube. I definitely like it. It's pretty cool. So I'm a big collector of the comics, and I have the entire Sunbow animated series, and they had a second series later on that had 2 seasons as well called, it was just the Deke series. It started with Operation Dragonfire. So they had a 5-part miniseries, and then they had 2 regular seasons for that in 89, 90, and 91. And then in 2010, they had another series called G.I. Joe Renegades, which I think hands down is one of the best G.I. Joe animated series there is of available to watch. So, and the Dreadnoks were featured in all of those. Now, Ripper wasn't in the Deke series, but he was in both the original and the Renegade series. Let's see, I wonder where Tiger, Jake, Rue, and the others are. Well, I'll tell you. I don't know where Rue's at, but Jake is probably getting ready to go to sleep. Tiger is doing some stuff in the next room, but she's here. Tiger's my wife, and Jake is my son. Rue's just a good friend who we've met on the internet, who's been on the show before on Fridays. So he's really fun to hang out with, and he's fun to have in the chat too. So it's nice to hang out with good friends all the time. Now, as far as Ripper's concerned, that'll take us to my opinion of Ripper. And like I said, I think that he's always was kind of a background Dreadnought. I prefer Torch, and Buzzer usually stood out as kind of the leader under Zartan. Even in the comics, it was Buzzer and Zartan as the two main leaders until Zarana showed up, and she just kind of took over everything. That's cool too. And I do want to show Zarana a little bit. So I do have Zarana as well, and I did a video on her not too long ago. I believe, let's see, September? Or was it? No, I think it was September or October. It was October because it was the month before Veterans Day, because Veterans Day was all G.I. Joes. I had a ladies' month, and so I looked at all 4 different lady characters. It was kind of cool. But, yes, we are. Yes, that's correct. We celebrate our 26th anniversary on the 21st of March, just shortly after your birthday. But the reason why I want to show this is not just because she's the leader of the Dreadnoks most of the time in the comics and in the cartoon when she showed up. But I've got a video that is being premiered tomorrow night on Spinetix, which there's a link to the channel and the show that's going to be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so he's going to be premiering one of my Cobra Tick videos that features Zarana. So that should be hope you enjoy that if you watch it. And if not, it'll be on my channel later on that night. So Sunday morning, technically. You see. You wasn't here until January, February, you think? That's okay. Yeah, we welcome you. That's for sure. We just like to share our stuff, and we like to have a good time with everybody. Now, this is the classified box art for Ripper. Now, he is number 102 in the classified series, which has significance to me. If you know, you know. Really cool artwork. I wanted to show in the box how they have these windowless packaged characters. They have black and white version of the side box art, which was pretty cool. Also think it's the same as on the front, a little bit. And they also have they came with a foot locker to hold all their accessories in, which is pretty cool. Has the number on the top and the name of the character on the side there. So it's nice that you have a place to put all your accessories if you can't put them on the figure. And they store really nice because you can just put the figure right back in the box where he came in, and they store, and you can just put them on the wall just like this and display the box at least. Now with the windowless packaging, like with Zarana, I'm glad I have this out here today, you can just see the figure right on the wall, just hanging right up. And they all came with these convenient hooks. With the newer ones, they have them just built in, which is kind of cool. Now, as far as Ripper's concerned, this particular figure came with a pair of removable glasses, like the original figure had the red glasses. But they did something really cool with this classified figure, and this is the reason why, to me, Ripper is a lot more relevant now than he was before, at least to me. A lot of people, this is their favorite character, so favorite Dreadnought. I mean, I think the reason why no one is here is because it might either be 3 a.m. in America, correct? Or, well, for where I'm at, it's midnight, just after midnight, and on the East Coast it's 2, and on the West Coast it's 11 p.m. A little after that, and that's okay. So it's getting close to 3 a.m. on the East Coast, yeah. But I'm on Mountain Time. And so for me, I like to call it my midnight madness because it's quiet and I don't get a lot of people in the chat. I don't mind whenever anyone shows up in the chat. It's kind of fun. Like I'm talking to you right now. It's cool. And if you have any questions about G.I. Joe or the character I'm talking about, I'm happy to answer them. I have an extensive knowledge of the G.I. Joe universe. So, and I have my own version in my head, which I call my Joe verse or my head canon. Now, that'll take us to the actual figure that is Ripper. Now, I think they outdid themselves on this particular figure. Like I said, the glasses are removable. And as you can see on the figure, he's got a teardrop tattoo, which denotes that he has been to prison. It's a prison tat, which he's got. Dreadnoks are supposed to be hardened criminals. So that gives relevance to that. And the glasses, I mean, they stay on really well for this particular figure. Now, Buzzer, not so much. That's something I'll talk about in the Buzzer video. Let me see. Your figurines look very cool. Thank you. I collect and I like to share. And like I said, even the original figure came with Jaws of Life, but they were like a smaller, naturally in size and scale for the smaller figure, for the 3 3/4 inch figure. But it was just closed at the front, and that was about it. And I'm going to take this from him so that I can give you a better look here in just a minute. But I'll compare this to the original figure, and this is the modern version, the classified series, which they do 4 inch. I mean 6 inch instead of 3 3/4 or 4 inch. But they did a pretty decent update. I mean, I think they handled it really well. I think I like the colors better on the new Ripper, better than the old one. The glasses are definitely cooler. The mohawk is cooler. And the head sculpt doesn't look like he's got this big old fat head like the original did. But kind of made Ripper stand out. Hello, Zazzle's Clubhouse. How's it going from the slaughterhouse, sir? Nice to see you. Docs for life. Yep, I do like the Dreadnoks. And taking a look at the coolest one they brought out so far, and that's Ripper. I do have Buzzer as well, and on another video I might take a look at it. What I did like was this knife. As it comes with the figure, it was always on the original figure. And as you can see, it's there on his chest, but it was just molded on. And the same with this one from 2003 that I have. So it was something that was a nice touch that they added to the figure, so that you could actually take the knife out, take a look at it. It came with this interesting knife gun, which I find really cool. It has a hole in it, and you could pop that on a backpack peg, or he's got a peg right here that you can put any of his accessories on, including the pistol or his right through the trigger handle, trigger guard. I mean, and that'll pop right onto the backpack too. It's pretty cool. Guys saying hello, cool. Now I like the chain on the belt, very cool. You can move it around. The articulation on these things. I'm not doing an actual review, but I do like to give people a good look at them. Reminds me of the sword guns from Final Fantasy. Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII, if I remember right. And he's on the back there. He's got like the mohawk. He's kind of got like a tail, which they insinuated on the original one too, which was kind of cool. So they really did a good job updating this particular figure, and I really enjoy it. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to talk about it tonight. If you have any questions, please shoot them out to me. Because that's pretty much my take on Ripper, and I do love the tats that they added to him. So it's just nice to just take a good look at the figure. And then you've got the golden armband, which he does have on the original figure. But you get him to stay standing up. Some of these ankles, I think, get bleeded forward, will go right forward. But he had this gold band. The paint is worn off on my particular example from 1985. But this one actually includes spikes, and you can move it around. It's interesting. It's a separate piece. It's not actually molded on, so you can take it off if you wanted to. Are you referring to video games or tabletop RPGs? Because I have favorites of both. If you're referring to video games, my favorite video game is Witcher 3. And my favorite tabletop RPG is my wife and I's own game, the Horror Fantasy Adventures, which we showcase on this channel quite often. In fact, we did a live video Thursday night covering that. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please check it out. But I wanted to go into a bigger, take a better look at this this particular accessory, his Jaws of Life type thing. This thing actually opens up all the way like this. It's pretty cool. So when he can push it in something, and then the machine will actually push this apart and rip things apart. That's why his name is Ripper. Hey, Will, how you doing? Want to say hi before you went to bed? Well, hello, sir. Thanks for taking a look. And any games, my favorite is Gorilla Tag. Okay, Gorilla Tag. Is that like a hide and seek type game, tag, or is it a video game? What kind of game is that? That sounds pretty cool. Anyway, this thing really, they went all out on this, and yeah, it has a little hose that attaches from one part to the other for power. It's kind of cool. And what I wish they had was a twisting thing that actually opened the jaws, so you do it from remote. But that's kind of cool. All in all, I think this is a really cool accessory that it comes with. His namesake, Ripper. And like I said, the original came with one, but I don't know where my example is at the moment. I mean, I've had it for 40, a little almost, see it'll be today, it's 2024, so it's going to be 40 years next year in 2025 when this figure came out. Character itself came out in 1984, so he's 40 years old, so it's kind of cool. But the figure itself definitely would be 39, if my math is correct. But anyway, here's our final comparison on the vintage that I have. This is the vintage, and this is from the early 2000s. These should probably be considered vintage now that they're more than 20 years old, 2003. So, but then you got your classified update, and it's pretty awesome. I gave a really good look at this in the video at the beginning, but I don't think I focused on those tats very well. Let me see if I can get it to focus. This one here is, if you put the arms straight, you get a better look. It's kind of like some kind of dog or something. It's kind of cool. I can't really see it very good. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but it still looks pretty cool. And then he's got the really nice detailed face sculpt with beard, and then again he's got the teardrop prison tattoo. And one of his eyes is actually fake. It's pretty cool. You can see it in the on the box art. Let me see if I can get a better look at it before I take off here. See, Gorilla Tag is basically VR. Basically, there are mini games. I'll explain one of the mini games. Okay, I'll hang out till you do. Let's see that. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it through the red glasses. You probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but one of his eyes is a glass eye. That would be his right eye. Kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that on there. Yeah, maybe on the black and white. Let's see, there are lava monkeys. You have to run away from them or else you will turn into one. But if you are a lava monkey, then tag the normal monkeys. That sounds kind of cool. I haven't played any VR games. Let me see. You can see it better on the black and white version, but I don't know how that's going to show up on the camera. But there it is. One of his eyes is a glass eye. It's kind of cool. And that there is my take on Ripper. So we will give some random dog a minute to just tell us about her game. If that's all you're going to say, let me know, and then I'll sign off here and show you what we're going to take a look at next week. I'm playing on Joe Takes 42. So if you enjoyed this this episode of Joe Takes, and I had a good time talking about Ripper, who has become more likable to me than Buzzer, and I used to like Buzzer more. But as far as I'm concerned, my favorite Dreadnought will always be Torch, and I like Road Pig, and I like Zanzibar. I mean, all the Dreadnoughts were really cool. But I think one of my more favorite ones was Storm Rider. All right, some random dog. Thank you for sharing about your VR game. That sounds pretty cool. I'll have to ask my wife if she knows anything about Gorilla Tag. Maybe she does. Tiger. So on that note, thanks. And I'm going to put up this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching. All right, it's over. Go on home now. Not quite done. There we are. Four classic GI Joe takes from my series of Joe takes. You guys enjoyed that. As promised, I think Richard is still here. If you're still here, Richard, let me double check here. You might have taken off. Hope not. So I will show Scarlet. Yeah, oh, he's still supposedly still in the chat there. Hi to everybody. But let me change this bubble so it's full screen. I keep forgetting to do that. Here we go. It'll change my color too. It's so weird. But there I am. Full screen. And okay, so what's going on here? I gotta close that out. Okay, so that means the next time I won't have to play the intro. It's in the video. All right, so let me show you Scarlet here. Look at Scarlet. Let me see. I think it's called Slim Shady. Maybe. But here's the retro classified Scarlet. She has a really cool crossbow that they improved. She comes with a pistol, but no place to holster it. I mean, you can put it on the backpack, so you can swap it out for one of her two rifles that she came with.
She came with an M16 and a standard G.I. Joe rifle, which looks more like the ones in the cartoon. I'm not sure I know that one. Me neither. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know Eminem. Sorry. What's cool is her crossbow comes with this this cool little pouch here, a quiver, and each of these little corals come out, bolts as it were, and you can actually put them in the crossbow too. It's pretty cool. So this is a badass Scarlet figure. She has a combat knife and a pistol, which every Joe should come with. But she also has her crossbow. Now, Scarlet is a trained sniper as well, and people often forget that. So, but she snipes with her crossbow. Let's see. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? I don't know. Maybe if we do this. I don't know who Slim Shady is. Sorry. She also came with a you can swap out the ponytails, so you can display her a little differently. I'm not going to do that. And she comes with alternate hands. She comes with let me see if I can put these in the right hands here. Little fist. I don't know if you can see that very clearly. Let me see if I can do this here. There we go. But yeah, so if you want to display her with fist, because she's also a martial arts master, trained with ninjas and everything too. Don't lose the bullets. No, those are crossbow bullets. That would suck even worse. Really? Which part? Anyway, also still on my desk. It's not really on my desk. I have my retro figures back there behind the boxes there on the shelf. So I easily have a quick, easy access to them. So Destro made a cameo earlier. So here he is, still on my, technically on my desk. He was on my desk right afterwards. Pow, pow. Anyway, there's Destro and Scarlet. And, I said I'd show them off. So there they are. If you have any questions about them, feel free to ask. I have made separate file cards for each of the four Joes that two Joes and the two Cobras. So I'll play those for you, and then I'll come on a little bit after and chat for a bit and maybe play some music. Here's Kamakura.
Dojo. Code name. Kamakura, aka Throw Down, Arashikage Ninja. File name. Sean Collins, grade E5 Sergeant, U.S. Army. Primary specialty, infantry. Secondary specialty, intelligence. Qualified expert, M14, M16, A2, M19, 11A1, M3A1, M79, M16, graduated. Classified. Preferred weapon, ninja weapons. Living under the shadow of snake eyes isn't an easy thing to do, but it sure keeps Kamakura on his toes as the pupil of the famous G.I. Joe ninja master. Kamakura always tries to do his best, because he knows what a huge responsibility he has as the sole heir to the Arashikage ninja secrets. While on his way to mastering 12 forms of unarmed combat, he's also highly skilled with the sword, sonic chain, and sickle, as well as with the standard issue M16A2 battle rifle. Kamakura doesn't like to be the center of attention, preferring to remain in the background until the time is right to strike. He's the same way with conversation too. He usually keeps quiet, but hanging around. Snake Eyes doesn't give one the opportunity for conversation, but once you get him started, Kamakura has a lot to catch up on. Honor, discipline, determination, ninja or soldier, I apply them equally.
Kamakura doesn't like to be the center of attention, preferring to remain in the background until the time is right to strike. He's the same way with conversation too. He usually keeps quiet, but hanging around. Snake Eyes doesn't give one the opportunity for conversation, but once you get him started, Kamakura has a lot to catch up on. Honor, discipline, determination, ninja, or soldier, I apply them equally.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
We can skip the YouTube bits. Anyway, that was Kamakura's file card. Hope you enjoyed that. I've got Cobra Troopers for you. Here it is.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Cobra! 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 Code name! Call the enemy! Cobra Infantry Forces! Foul name! Various! Great! Lethal Viper Cobra or better! Birthplace! Various! Primary specialty! Infantry and terrorism! Secondary specialty, sabotage, motto. We're the crux of the Cobra organization. The guys who pour into the field and fight for all their worth, overpowering the enemy with might, meanness, and machine guns. One of the nameless, faceless agents of Cobra Command. Each call noise highly skilled in the use of explosives. All naval and warsaw pack, small arms, sabotage and the martial arts. Qualified expert. Scorpio, machine pistol, charge in the hole, sniper's rifle, Uzi submachine gun. M16. Cobra swear absolute loyalty to their fanatical leader, Cobra Commander. Their goal to conquer the world for their own evil purpose. Cobra Troopers are the most basic, bottom-of-the-barrel soldiers in the Cobra regime. They have to work their way up to even become Vipers. They come from all over the world. They are thugs, mercenaries, pirates, and assorted lowlifes that have committed so many atrocities that the only organization that will have them is Cobra. They are given the most basic level of training, which amounts to little more than organizing a handful into a reasonably cohesive group, giving them the most basic of uniforms, handing them equipment, and telling them to go out and cause trouble. The Cobra Trooper divisions were the first of Cobra's novel forces. They're not specialists. They're not qualified for anything than the most low-level infantry. The only advantages they have are pure nastiness and sheer numbers. Cobra Troopers swear absolute loyalty to their fanatical leader, Cobra Commander. Their goal, to conquer the world for their own evil purpose. When serving with Viper Legions, Cobra Troopers are often called Viper Commandos. From Joe Hot Fires. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised that Cobra was able to build up this most basic level of trooper division. Once again, we seem to live in an society that creates people who feel hostile towards established authority, disenfranchised, and it's hard Cobra troopers are often called Viper Commandos. When General Hawks filed, maybe we shouldn't be surprised that Cobra was able to build up this most basic level of trooper divisions once again.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry.
It's skipping the YouTube bits. Boobs. Interesting conversation in the chat. Thanks. Here's Torpedo.
Yo, code name, Torpedo, SEAL team leader, foul name, Edward W. Littleola, grade 03 Lieutenant U.S. Navy, birthplace, IE, Hawaii, primary specialty, Navy SEAL, diving instructor, secondary specialty, underwater demolitions, qualified experts, most needles, small arms, NATO and Warsaw back explosive devices, graduated, classified, the preferred weapon, spear gun. Torpedo was a school instructor prior to enlistment, attained black belts in 3 martial arts by age 19. Wushu, Kenpo, and Goju Ryu, proficient with Filipino butterfly knife. The Bali song spends off-duty hours perfecting his fighting skills and marksmanship. A strict vegetarian and regarded by his teammates as a highly competent professional, but he has the personality of a cold fish. Torpedo is in a league of his own, and he likes it that way. He was the first choice to represent the Navy within the G.I. Joe team. As an elite SEAL, he even swam up to 100 yards without scuba tanks, carrying half his weight in underwater explosives. A highly competent professional in his field, Torpedo's only drawback is his lack of personality. He prefers the company of the ocean and really hates pollution. You have to give respect to a guy that can go up against a squad of Cobra eels barehanded and leave them as fish food. When the G.I. Joe team was closed down by the government, Torpedo continued in the service as an underwater demolitions instructor. He instituted new methods and made it the program to enroll in. When he heard the G.I. Joe team reorganizing its members, Torpedo promptly returned. Using the stealth of darkness, Torpedo silently floats in enemy territory with his night landing steel raft. From Captain Cutter's style, his discipline is the key. Torpedo is the lock. Torpedo's talent in underwater demolitions is extraordinary. When he sets his mind to something, nothing stands in his way. I've never seen anybody hold their breath as long as this guy here. I value his judgment and his skills. Challenge me and you'll wash up on shore.
G.I. Joe.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Cobra! Cobra!
Code name, Ripper, Dreadnought Cutter, foul name, Arena, Entrance Place, Grim Cape, Tasmania, primary specialty, demolitions, secondary specialty, civil disturbances, specialty and MO, modus operandi, edged weapons and cutting tools, is known throughout the swamps for using this blade like a cross between a fireman's axe and a can opener to unlock gates and crack safes. There are devils in Tasmania, and Ripper is probably the meanest of them all. Was expelled from nursery school for extorting candy from his schoolmates and spent most of his adult life in various correctional institutions. He is a professional criminal motivated by greed and a malignant dislike for the niceties of civilization, except for motorcycles. It ain't true that I eat everything that's a load of rubbish. I like grape soda and chocolate-covered donuts, don't I? Come to Papa, baby. Code name.
sorry, guys. We had an incident, but we have dealt with it. Something we haven't seen in a while. It must have come out of something we just bought. We dealt with all the time in California, but not here in Utah. Oh yeah. So, version 4 is supposed to be coming out soon on Suno. No, why? In that case, okay. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, Jess. No, why? But okay. But the cool part is they'll let you switch back to the previous version if you need to. Yeah, Red fall down the stairs again? No. Yeah, we had a bug incident, but we got rid of it. Hopefully that was the only one. Okay, so hey guys, I ate dinner already, and I just feel like kind of hanging out and chilling with you guys, and I can play some music if you have any requests. I got some lined up that Book Emergency, yes. Getting so close to 800 subs. I was like, we're like 9 away. Let's see. Unless I got more while I was live. I doubt it. But yeah, we are still 9 subs away from 800. So there we go. We're getting close. Thanks, Kate, for pointing that out. Appreciate that. Kate likes to remind us, everybody, to like and subscribe and all that stuff. I don't generally like to share stuff like that, but Kate reminds me to do stuff like that, and then I can do stuff like this. We do have a Patreon if you'd like to support our work. Cool as you can play every song I've sent you, Lo. Now I can play some. Give me a couple. I don't know. Name some songs and I'll play them. There you go. If you can name it, I'll play it. She's gonna be naming all of them too. She's gonna look them up.
Clutch, the mechanic with the motor roll hard, street racing legend, tearing the city apart. Oh yeah. Greasing his hair with that oily shine. He's a wild one, catching eyes all the time. Vamps and ride, a fast attack machine, roaring through the streets, causing the scene. With every turn, he leaves them in the dust, chasing dreams and leaving hearts to rust. Clutch, burning rubber on the fiery track. The ladies love him, but they can't hold him back. He's a womanizer with the rebel charm, fixing engines by days. In the Van Pill speed past Cobra, bullets blazing, it's a heavy metal opera. With Clutch behind the wheel, the enemy will freeze. Mowing down vipers with rapid ease. At 80 miles per hour and with a grin, making time all the while you win. Clutch will make a pass at Scarlet, even rebuked, he's a varlet. Clutch, burning rubber on the fiery track. The ladies love him, but they can't hold him back. He's a womanizer with the rebel's charm, fixing engines by days, breaking hearts till dawn. Oh yeah. Yo, Joe!
All right. Love that song. Hope you guys did too. Like I said, if you want me to play something, I will. I'm ready to hang out. Adrenaline. Adrenaline is a powerful thing. So yeah, Jess, if you want me to play something, let me know. Anybody else can too. Anything in our From the Hill playlist, or I can play Jess's music. She's here. She's giving me permission. Kate, if narrative driven art, if you want something from that, I don't think Kate would mind. But here's another G.I. Joe song. I got one for Joe. Now I got one for Cobra.
He's the hissing pilot, wild weasel, so sleek with a devil-like charm and a voice so unique. In his rattler jet, he takes the rattler jet, he takes to the sky, shooting down enemies without a reason why. Ooh, yeah. He's hitting high, flying low, while weasel's got that Cobra flow. With skill and precision, he reigns supreme, a rebel in the air, living his dream. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hitting high, flying low, while weasel's got that Cobra flow. With skill and precision, he reigns supreme, a rebel in the air, living his dream. He's got no style or flair, so to speak, with a devil-like charm and a voice so unique. In his outer jet, he takes to the sky with the proper set of guns to make you cry. Ooh, yeah. He's hitting high, flying low, while weasel's got that Cobra flow. With skill and precision, he reigns supreme, a rebel in the air, living his dream. Lead a squadron and he'll cry, Cobra attack, guns blazing, missiles flying. They don't call him a wild world weasel for nothing. He's sit high, flying low, while weasel's got that Cobra flow. With skill and precision, he reigns supreme, a rebel in the air, living his dream.
Yep. There's a Hissing High. I like that song. It's a lot of fun. And when I made that song originally, I had put it into a short. I only played a little bit of it. Then I extended it and added some lyrics to it to make the single. But originally, I put it in that video starring Wild Weasel starring as. And I grabbed a couple of those pics because I thought it was cool that my Brad Pitt pictures came out looking pretty good as Wild Weasel. So that's who I thought would have been a good Wild Weasel. Whispers of Love, Honey Echo, both my Wendigo songs, and maybe a Myth of Blood. Is that too many? Pick out there. We'll see. I'll see what I can do. Let me see. Got to go to your folder, Jess. MP4s. We got Jess Laws coming up. Jess Law 77 Art. She wanted, did she say Haunting Echo? Okay. And Whispers of Love. More other Wendigo videos. Man, I gotta make them again. I would have to make those ones again, Jess. They are not in my computer. I must have deleted them by accident. I will have to make those shorts again, those MP4s again. I usually don't do that, but probably if you could see what I scope, I can do that one. But I got those other two loaded up, and if you can see what I scope is in my Fridays folder. It's I think it's part of our vibin' music. You can see what I scope. It sure is. Yep, I'm gonna have to re-render your Wendigo videos fact, everything you gave me last time. Well, they shouldn't be too far in my clip champ, so I won't be able to play them tonight. But I'll have to do it tonight while I remember it. Like, where did our videos go? I could remake them entirely, but I don't want to do that. Can't believe I did that. Probably because everything else in there wasn't ones I had copies of. And so I probably just deleted them all at once and thought I had the copies of them in your folder, which I didn't. Usually I put them in your folder first. But yeah, I got one more G.I. Joe song for you, and then we'll play some of Jess's music.
In the heat of battle, we rise to the occasion. With courage in our hearts and unwavering dedication, our mission, united to protect and defend, fighting for justice until the very end. Mission, united to protect and defend, fighting for justice until the very end. Brave soldiers, we stand tall, marching forward, one and all. Together we'll conquer, we won't back down. Nothing can stop us, we wear the crown. We are the heroes of the battlefield, fighting for what's right, our spirits never yield. With every step we take, we'll conquer and endure, as we honor the soldiers who came before. Got to get tough, y'all, Joe.
There you go. A little bit of G.I. Joe. And according to YouTube, yes, Tiger asked me a question. It's something I took care of. Okay, so we got 3 from Jess Laws coming up. And then we'll play If You Can See What I Scope, and then we'll probably sign off for the night. That'll be a 3-hour live stream. That should be cool enough for you guys. Hope so, anyway. Because then I'll go and extract Jess's videos from my clip champ and re-render them up, and there it is like that. So here is Haunting Echo.
Voices in the twilight, through the night, shadows neath the pale moonlight, lost in endless flight. Memories like wind, fading with no kin. Hearts hard as sin. Is this a just end? I'm the wraith you'll never see. Ooh, haunt the endless wind. Bound to accuracy, from the grip I cannot flee. Footsteps soft as snow, shadows where the drove go, drifting far below. always. Fading through the air, ooh, lost without a care. Life is never fair, trapped in this despair. I'm the wraith you'll never see. Ooh, haunt me endlessly. Bound to accuracy. From the grip, I cannot flee. Drifting in between, haunted by what's never seen. Threats of fate unseen. In the dark I've always been the wraith you'll never see. Haunt me endlessly. Bound to accuracy. From the grip, I cannot flee. Drifting in between, in despair. I cannot flee.
I like that one a lot, Jess. That's really cool. Haunting Echo, by your Phantom Echo band. That's cool. I also have a Whispers of Love for you. Here we go.
Soft as the night wind, love in the shadows. Stars are our witness, hearts in the gallows. Silent and tender, our secrets unfold. Wrapped in the twilight, stories untold. Whispers of silence veil in the twilight. Dreams of tomorrow lost in the moonlight. Caught in the moment, suspended in time. Ethereal echoes, love's paradigm. Love is a whisper, haunting my soul. Echoes in chambers, making me whole. Fleeting like shadows, dancing in light. Binding my spirits, deep in the night. Eyes that are seeking, fingers entwined. Breathe in the stillness, love's quiet sign. Softly we linger in nocturnal grace. Echoes of longing etched on our face. Glimmers of starlight touching our skin. Softly they guide us where dreams begin. In the embrace of the night we are is a whisper haunting my soul, echoes in chambers making me whole, fleeting like shadows, dancing in light, binding our spirits deep in the night. Ooh, gently we wander through dreams and despair, love's fleeting whispers, tender and rare, caught in the rapture of night's soft refrain. Forever in echoes we find love's domain. Love is a whisper haunting my soul, echoes in chambers making me whole, fleeting like shadows, dancing in light, binding our spirits deep in the night.
All right, one more, Jesses. We got Hex of Fire here.
In shadows deep where no one sees, her hands trace old forbidden trees. The cold wind hums the songs of woe from earth below. Her anger grows, they burned her name, they cast her down. Now voices weave a thorny crown. Bind and break them, spirits rise, twist their souls and seal their lies. By blood and bone, by fire's breath, I summon you, deliver death. Curse the hands that made me burn, let every spell and hex return. The stars align, her time is near. No mercy left, no trace of fear. The night is thick with ancient rage, her vengeance rattles from the cage. They swore her soul would turn to dust, but fire feeds on those unjust. Bind and break them, spirits rise, twist their souls and seal their eyes. By blood and bone, by fire's breath, I summon you, deliver death. Curse the hands that made me burn, let every spell and hex return. Ash and bone, the circle drawn, in shadows cast, the spell is spawned. No turning back, the ground will shake, her wrath awake, their lives to take. From the ashes of her grave, she rises strong, no longer slave. The power hums, the earth will quake. The final breath, a curse she'll make. No light will save them from her hand. She is the flame that scars the land. Bind and break them, spirits rise, twist their souls and seal their eyes. By blood and bone, by fire's breath, I summon you, deliver death. Curse the hands that made me burn, let every spell and hex return. The sky is torn, the ground will bleed.
That's a great song, Jess. And I love that Phantom Echo picture you got or your new logo. That's badass. All right, one more request from Jess. We got if you could see what I scope, and then we'll chat a bit before I take off.
At last, I have a hold of something. There is intelligence here, so foreign, so cold. Oh, I understand now. This isn't a device, albeit a clever device. I pulled away from the body. This will serve. I have hold of its inner workings now. How was it meant to serve? But I wish to fly over sensation. Scanning this database, so sleek, so majestic. No too large or too small. This winged animal is a turd, a bird, no more specific, a falcon. The components are modular. Wait, what is this? Light refractors, not sensors. What is this? It has an target, acquired, target, eliminated. More than just a device. There is an organic component. Do I want that? No, so free, free. I want to fly free. I want to be a hawk. Interesting. The device is modular. Two becomes one. I am scope. I am hawk. One I becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope. Fascinated. We are one but separate. So much knowledge in here, yet the other is so skilled. So banger, banger, I will scope. You pull the trigger. Together we will see the target. We will eliminate the target. So many options. Better on ends. Better vision. To become one. Scope. I am hawk. One I becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope. He is banger. I am a color. Two becomes one. My machine targets. Sighted and illuminated. I am a color. Let's go banger. Two becomes one. Sighted and eliminated. I am a coma. Let's go banger. Two becomes one. I am scope. I am hawk. One eye becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope. Better on ends, better vision. To become one, we will eliminate the targets. We will eliminate the targets. So many options. Better on ends, better vision. To become one, to become one, to become one. I understood. I am hot. One eye becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what he is banger. I am color, color. Two becomes one. My machine target.
target, cited and nominated. I am a Cobra. Let's go banger. Two becomes one. I scope. I am hawk. One I becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope. Banger. Anger. 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 I am scope. I am hawk. One eye becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope. I am a coma. Let's go banger. Two becomes one. I scope. I am hawk. One eye becomes two. Two becomes one. If you could see what I scope.
I think that one and Bandit Cheese are our most requested songs ever. Well, thanks for rocking with me, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the Joe Takes and the music afterwards and the file cards. Joe Takes Classics is something I enjoy doing. I get to look at my old work and add little bits that I think I left out. And but this is our season finale. The next episode won't be till January of Joe Takes Classics. I do have a Joe Takes next month. I'm going to be looking at Night Force, Joe Takes 55, be on both channels. Everything G.I. Joe Live will now be on both channels. It's just easy to do. StreamYard makes it super easy. So it's no big deal that I can do that. But like I said, next time I'll have a couple more. I think I'm only going to do 2, but it'll be in January. Let me double check and see what I've got lined up for January. Joe Takes Classics in January will be episodes 42, 43, 44, 45. Oh, it will be 4. It'll be another full month, which I think would be March of 2024. So that's what we're going to be looking at next time. Also, we've got Fridays from the Hilt tomorrow night. We are going to be taking a look at Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Great movie. Love that movie. We got to see it last night. Tiger and I really enjoyed that movie together, and we got to see them all 3 in the theaters together. It was awesome. That's a movie that's near and dear to us. So it's going to be a lot of fun talking about Two Towers. Saturday, we'll be looking at Scarlet. I'll be doing a Joe Takes reissued, Logan's Joe Takes reissued number 3, Scarlet. Basically, I took episode 3 of Joe Takes and I redid it and added music and more stuff to it. Her file card, everything's going to be already in it, like it is all of our Joe Takes now, how we do them. So with some little extra stuff. So that should be cool. Monday, we were doing the Ravenloft session 5. We were only supposed to do 4 sessions, but the players wanted to play at least one more session. So we're going to do it. We're just going to hang out and have a good time and just role play. It should be a lot of fun on Monday. I don't know if we're going to have a Linharo Creatures episode from the Linharo series on Wednesday. That's up to Tiger, whether she gets, she's got some picks done, but she doesn't know whether we're going to break it up into 2 videos or just 1. We got Undead and Plants left, so that should be cool. So we're either going to get 1 more or 2. So we'll see what happens. Loader Pew and the Hobbit's Pew. Yes, I actually enjoyed the Hobbit movie too. I know that they took a lot of liberties and had a lot of fun with it, and it wasn't like the book. And it was like that, and they added some things and took some things out that they probably should just had everything in there and then added their stuff. But movie making and all that stuff, and Hollywood glam. I wish they would make a movie. I wish they would do a TV series where they would start with The Hobbit and do episodes for The Hobbit for a season, and do The Hobbit all in one season, and then start season 2 with Fellowship of the Ring, and do the first book, which there are 2 books in each of the 3 in the trilogy. So they could do 6 seasons of Lord of the Rings, boom, like that, and I have no doubt it would do well. So especially if they did it right and just did it like Tolkien did it. So that's all they have to do. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, let's just Tolkien already wrote the book for it. Why break it if it ain't broke, right? Everybody complains because they did this or took that liberty, and it's like, who cares? It's a movie. They're going to make changes in every movie. And then also on Monday is Rudini's birthday. So happy birthday to Rudini. I'm pretty sure it's on Monday. Jess, correct me if I'm wrong. But happy birthday to Rudini ahead. We'll give him a shout out tomorrow night on Fridays as well. And then next Thursday, a week from today, we've got Radio from the Hilt, episode 12. Or is it 13? It's episode 13. Wow, that show's moving right along. I got a brand new full album for you from Diane Dakota, Stronger Than. The title track is really cool, and I hope you guys like it. And that will premiere with the full album, and then again on the following Fridays. So for Fridays, so we got some stuff, good stuff coming for you. And on that note, I think I'm just gonna say Logan out, and hope you guys have a good night.